Digital Storytelling, Instructional Application in a P-12 Environment by Jessica Spurlock. Digital storytelling is a form of storytelling which is accomplished using technology. It can be used in classrooms in a variety of educational ways. The first website that we'll review together today is creativeeducator.techforlearning.com. I chose to review this website for several reasons. The first is that it is geared towards using technology for learning, and it has a really nice selection of material geared specifically towards digital storytelling. So there are lots of different links that you can select here to different articles, but I would like to start with this one here. I selected this article to share with you guys because it has lots of good ideas on how to get started using digital storytelling in your classroom. So as you scroll down the page here, you'll see that there are specific examples of how it can be used and what it looks like in the classroom. And additionally, it gives you some ideas about how you can begin implementing digital storytelling in your classroom and teach students the skills necessary to create a good digital story. So this is a really good resource right here. Okay, and if we go back to the front page here, see there's one about building literacy, but in particular I wanted to talk about this one because it gives some great examples of how digital literacy applies to all different kinds of classrooms, not just language arts, which may come to mind when you hear the word literacy. And it gives us some examples of how digital storytelling can be used across the curriculum. So as we scroll down here, I found this very interesting, this idea of 21st century skills. Technical literacy is one of those important skills that students need to learn. Okay, and as we scroll here, you'll see that there are some examples. Myths, legends, and tall tales. Students can create docudramas. And I love this here because it gives some ideas about how digital storytelling can be used in science or in history, in math, literacy, pretty much anything you can think of, you could develop a digital story to go along with. Even for advertising and public service announcements and, for example, like a career orientation course. All right, that's a high level of the information about how digital storytelling can be used across the curriculum. And one other really cool thing that I liked on here, and we won't go through all of these, but I would encourage you to go check these out. There are some great tips in here about how you could begin to use it. But this one I think would be especially useful for instruction. 6 elements of good digital storytelling. And I could see that this would be easy to translate into a lesson in your classroom and for students to practice the elements of a good story. No matter what the subject matter is, this could be a really good tool for us teachers to reference so that we could get started on helping our students understand the makings of a good story. Additionally, one other thing I really like about this particular site for digital storytelling is if you click on lessons up here at the top, you can select by subject matter and grade level. So we'll just click on high school to start. And there are lessons ready to go. And here's one that I think is really cool for digital storytelling in science. Students can create an animated video that showcases how physics concepts apply to their favorite sport. It doesn't have to be your favorite sport and it doesn't have to be physics, but it just gets your mind going, thinking about different ways that you could use digital storytelling no matter where you are. Okay, here's another neat one. Students can create an animation to demonstrate the chemical process. I love this. I love students being able to be creative and communicate their ideas in their own unique way. And I think that's so much of what this website offers, are really good ideas to get your students' minds going and help them think about how they can use digital storytelling to tell their stories. So I'm going back to this main page here because there's one little section I wanted to show you at the bottom of the page. There's this whole gallery of student-made digital stories that would be really helpful for showing students as examples. Here's one, the physical sciences of paintball. I can't imagine that there wouldn't be some kids getting excited about that. Rainforest animal animations. And we won't watch these, but they're out there for you guys to take a look at if you're interested. Claymation math fractions, and even plotting coordinates, the digestive system, and so on. So I hope you've enjoyed our quick review of Creative Educator at techforlearning.com. What I really like about creativeeducator.techforlearning.com is that it's accessible, user-friendly, relevant, and efficient. Its content is free. Any teacher can learn how to use digital storytelling in the classroom by perusing the site. And the information is applicable to all sorts of subject areas. Additionally, there's ready-to-use lesson plans to peruse and adapt to our classroom's specific needs. Next, let's take a look at readingrockets.org. On this website, you'll see a lot of emphasis on developing literacy skills. This first article is about how you can use digital storytelling to extend the potential for struggling writers. I think this is so important because there are writers in everyone's classroom, not just in the language arts classroom. All students need to learn to write within their disciplines. I like the tables especially on this resource. For example, on table 1, you'll see several examples of digital stories that could be shared with students. It also provides a little bit of background about digital storytelling. Help students understand, again, what the elements are of an effective digital story. This author describes the 7 elements listed below. I like here that it provides examples of the pre-writing work that goes into creating a digital story. That's very important. And this, I love this table. It provides all sorts of tutorials, tools, sources, and kind of tells you what you're getting there in the comments section. And I think that's everything I wanted to show you guys on this page. Another article that I thought was really relevant and interesting when it comes to literacy and digital storytelling is how digital storytelling can get students, for example, English language learners and other struggling students engaged and participating in a way that builds confidence and doesn't put them on the spot, but at the same time they're practicing those skills that they need to become better writers and readers. Yeah, just kind of highlighting what it says here about how digital storytelling allows students the time they need to reflect and assess. And here, this site shares several different apps that you can install. I spent a little bit of time playing with the apps, but it's really something that you've got to spend more time digging into. And real quick, just to summarize what it is I really like about readingrockets.org. Again, it's an accessible website, no login, user information. The content is free, it's user-friendly, it's written in language that teachers will understand, and I really love that this particular site focuses on how digital storytelling can help struggling readers and writers, because we are all going to have someone who is struggling with that come through our classrooms. But finally, I really love the resources. I like that there's a table of resources that summarizes all the tools and apps that you can get out there and peruse and see what you can use in your classroom. For this assignment, I was initially drawn to digital storytelling because at a high level, it seemed like something that would be useful for instruction in a language arts classroom, which is my desired future area of certification. I learned through this assignment, however, that my original understanding of how digital storytelling could be applied in an instructional setting was very narrow. The ability to craft and communicate in a well thought out story is critical to how we as humans communicate and connect with the world around us, no matter the subject area. For this reflection, one of the most compelling elements of digital storytelling for me is that it is a tool that both teachers and students can use to communicate inside of a classroom setting and beyond. Teachers can use digital stories to enhance instruction and elevate student engagement in the material. I plan to incorporate digital storytelling in my language arts classroom to add energy and interest to many areas of instruction, including those like the writing process and literary analysis techniques, which are sometimes subjects that students may find less exciting. In addition to leveraging digital storytelling in my instructional practices, I plan to use it to help develop assignments and a way to assess authentic learning and to empower students to share their stories in a way that feels relevant to the real world. Further, digital storytelling could be an especially useful tool for supporting struggling readers because somehow tapping into new literacies, such as this one, can help to boost motivation and scaffold understanding of traditional literacies. Overall, my feeling is that at the end of this assignment, digital storytelling should and will play a critical role in my classroom instruction, as well as in the development of assignments and assessments for my students. I also must admit that I feel overwhelmingly like I still have a lot to learn to be able to use and teach digital storytelling techniques effectively and efficiently in my classroom. It's going to be a little while before it feels natural for me, and that's going to require some additional study and research and work on my part. However, I believe that digital storytelling is a powerful, relevant tool for both teachers and students, and I plan to continue learning all that I can about its educational applications and all of the apps and programs available to aid in implementing it in my classroom beginning on day one of my career as an educator. Thank you very much for your time.